How often do you wish you could get rid of things that are taking up too much room in your house? Old, thrown-away furniture, mountains of paperwork, and important keepsakes that are hidden in strange places are just a few of the things that can take your attention away. But the truth is that you need to clean up your house before you turn 70. That's not all you should do. You should also try to make your home feel lighter, easier to handle, and better fit your ideal way of life. If you watch this video about 6 everyday things, you might feel heavier than you really are. Whether you're holding on to things out of habit, because they are old or useless, or because they are adding stress to your life that you don't need, letting go of them will surprise you at how helpful it is. You'll then know that letting go of these things doesn't mean giving up anything. It means becoming freer. If you don't already, subscribe and hit the bell button before we start. That way, you won't miss a video. Is this video something you like? Please leave a comment if so. You can type 0 in the comments to let me know you don't like it. It will help me make videos for you that are better. We can begin now. The oldest and most used furniture is at the top of the list. One big reason why homes are cluttered is that people keep old, worn-out furniture that they don't need. Over time, it's easy to get more cabinets, tables, and chairs. In the past, these things might have been useful, but now they just make the room look sloppy. It can be hard on your body and cause you stress to have old furniture that doesn't work or feel good. See the big chair in the corner that's not being used? See the big dining table that doesn't go with anything and hasn't been used in years? See the dresser that has broken drawers? You don't need these things in your life. They're just taking up space. As you get older, having too much furniture in your home can make it harder to get around. You might trip or bump into things more often, or you might just feel like there is too much stuff. Think about Frank for a second. He has lived in the house since he bought it many years ago. He's 74 years old. He filled his house with furniture that he bought, inherited, or received as a gift from family and friends. For a while, he liked being at home, but then he started to notice something. It was hard for him to get around his own house, and some rooms looked more like places to store things than lounge around. It became a chore to clean. His daughter told him that out of the 5 chairs in his living room, only 2 were being used. His mind told him right then that he had to change. He was brave. It was his choice to get rid of things one room at a time. Both the broken chair with the leg cut off and the big coffee table that blocked the exit were there. Even though it came as a surprise as he kept clearing, he began to feel better. Having his own home made him feel calm, free, and most of all, at ease. It's great when furniture is useful, but when it's not, it can be a pain and make a room feel awful. A house can feel like a house, even if it's not full of furniture. It's true that having less makes you appreciate what you have more. Ask yourself, when was the last time I actually used this? If you have old furniture that you don't use, it should be thrown away if you have to think about it. This house is more valuable than a table or chair that people sit on. It's clean, comfortable, and easy to get around in. Second, things you don't wear. We all keep clothes we don't wear anymore at some point. It could be a suit that doesn't fit anymore, a dress you bought for a special event decades ago, or a bunch of old t-shirts that haven't been worn in years. No matter what, before you turn 70, you should really look at your closet and ask yourself, do I really need all of this? Because having clothes you don't wear taking up space in your closet is also making your life more complicated than it needs to be. Clothes can bring back memories. That jacket you wore to a big event, those jeans you love but haven't worn in years, and even those old shoes at the bottom of your closet. They're still there, taking up space, even if you don't think about them much. A lot of people feel like they're letting go of the past when they get rid of old clothes. But here's something to think about. Your closet should show who you are now, not who you were in the past. Take Linda as an example. She had a closet full of clothes when she was 72, but she only wore a few of them often. In her closet, she kept jackets from the 1980s and shoes that looked nice, but hurt her feet every time she tried to wear them. Every morning, she would stand in front of her closet and feel overwhelmed by all the options, most of which were no longer useful. She chose to change things one day. She took everything out of her closet and put it into 3 piles. One for clothes she loved and wore, one for clothes that didn't fit or felt good, and one for things she was keeping just in case. The last pile was the hardest to deal with, but as she lost clothes she hadn't worn in years, she realized she wasn't losing anything. She was gaining space, clarity, and a closet that made her life easier. That's the key. When you clean out your closet, you do more than just get rid of clothes. You also make your daily life easier. You make getting dressed in the morning easier, finding clothes you like easier, and getting through life without extra stuff being a pain. The best part? Those clothes might be used by someone else. Give them to someone who needs them instead of letting them sit in your closet. Ask yourself, do I really need this? If your closet is full of clothes you never wear, if it doesn't fit, is uncomfortable, or hasn't been worn in years, it's time to get rid of it. At this point in your life, you deserve a wardrobe that works for you, not one that weighs you down. 3. Old medicines and toiletries that have gone bad. One type of household clutter that most people don't think about is the medicine and toiletries that have gone bad that are probably sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. For some reason, these things keep getting piled up on top of each other. It could be an old bottle of painkillers, prescription drugs that you only used half of, or skincare products that you bought but never really liked. Your cabinets and drawers will quickly become crowded with things you don't need or want. Worse yet, some of them might even be dangerous. Medications have expiration dates for a reason. After a while, they stop working as well or even become harmful. Though keeping old prescriptions just in case might seem harmless, if you ever need that medicine again, you should get a new prescription from your doctor that is up to date and fits your current health needs. But a lot of us still store bottles of pills that have passed their expiration dates, even though we know that they don't do anything useful except take up space and pose an unnecessary risk. The same is true for toiletries. Things like that lotion bottle you haven't used in years, that sunscreen tube from who knows when, and that perfume you stopped wearing 10 years ago don't last forever. A lot of people don't know this, but cosmetics and skincare products also have expiration dates. Using them after their best before dates can cause skin irritation or infections. Still, we keep them because we think we'll need them someday. But to be honest, you probably won't use it if you haven't in months or years. Take the case of Robert. He is 75 years old and takes pride in keeping his house clean. But one day, while looking for a bandage, he opened his medicine cabinet and saw that it was full of bottles and boxes that he hadn't touched in years. Painkillers that had expired, antibiotic cream tubes that were only half full, and a prescription for something he no longer needed. Everything was just sitting there. A lot of things were kept just in case, which shocked him when he finally took the time to go through them all. As he got rid of them, he felt relieved because he knew everything left in his cabinet was safe and useful. What a lot of people don't understand is that cleaning out your medicine and toiletry cabinet isn't just about making things look better. It's also about safety, having what you need, and getting rid of what you don't need. You can make room for the medicines you really need when you get rid of the ones that have expired. Getting rid of old toiletries makes your daily life easier and makes sure that everything you use is new and works well. Now is the time to check your medicine cabinet and bathroom drawers if you haven't done so recently. Take a look at your medicines. In case it's expired, throw it away safely. Don't just leave a prescription lying around if you no longer need it. Get rid of it properly. Also, be honest with yourself about your toiletries. It's likely that you will never use it again if you haven't in over a year. Let it go and enjoy how simple it is to only have the things you need. 4. Old papers, documents, and mail that hasn't been opened. A lot of people have paper around, but it's one of the easiest things to ignore. Over the years, it builds up on tables, in drawers, inside old folders, and even in boxes that are kept just in case. From old bills and expired warranties to user guides for appliances you no longer own, most homes have an unbelievable amount of paperwork that isn't needed, and you need to take charge of it before you turn 70. Having too much paper around doesn't just take up space, it can also make you feel stressed. Think about how frustrating it is to look for an important document only to find it buried in stacks of papers that you should have thrown away years ago. Or how overwhelming it is to have a lot of unopened mail on the counter, making you feel like you're always behind on something. The truth is that most of the papers we keep are useless anymore, and getting rid of them can make us feel relieved in ways we didn't expect. Take Barbara as an example. At 73 years old, she had a whole filing cabinet full of old papers from decades ago, like old utility bills, receipts from purchases she had forgotten about, and even tax returns from the 1980s. These were papers that she hadn't needed to keep for years, but did. When she was trying to find an important insurance document one day, she realized how much of her paperwork was out of date and didn't matter. It took a while, but she finally decided to go through everything and only keep the important papers. She had cut her paperwork by more than half by the end, and she knew where to find everything she needed for the first time in years. That's the thing. Getting rid of papers doesn't just make room in your home, it also makes room in your mind. You're freeing your mind from the stress that comes from seeing stacks of mail, old documents, and folders full of things you'll never need again. The best part? Today's technology lets you access the most important records digitally, so you don't have to keep hard copies of everything. How do you begin? First, take a close look at all of your paperwork. Most likely, you don't need something that you haven't looked at in years. Throw away old bank statements and contracts that have expired. Throw away the manuals for things you no longer own. Only keep the most important medical, legal, and financial records, and set them up in a way that makes them easy to find when you need them. Also, don't let your mail pile up. Junk mail. Throw it away right away. Pay your bills and only file what you need to. The goal is easy. Just keep the papers that are useful and throw away the rest. 5. Things in the kitchen that you never use. One of the most cluttered rooms in any house is the kitchen. Over time, it's easy to fill cabinets with containers that don't go together, drawers with tools you never use, and old pots and pans that are just gathering dust. That extra stuff in the kitchen that's making things less organized should go before you turn 70. A lot of people keep kitchen items because they are used to having them. It could be a fancy set of dishes you've been saving for a special occasion that never comes up. Or it could be small appliances you bought years ago but haven't used. You may even have 3 or 4 different kinds of the same tool, like a bunch of spatulas, a bunch of coffee mugs, or a drawer full of plastic lids that don't go with any containers. But here's the truth. Having a kitchen full of things you don't use or need doesn't make life easier. It makes it harder. Take the case of George. He's 76 years old and has lived in the same house for many years. His kitchen got full of gadgets and cooking tools that he didn't use very often over the years. There were blenders, food processors, and toasters that had never been used. Plates and glasses were stacked high in cabinets, and drawers were full of tools that he couldn't even remember buying. He had to look through a lot of stuff every time he needed something. In search of a pan one day, he knocked over a stack of unused baking sheets and decided that was enough. He then made a choice. One section at a time, he went through his kitchen and asked himself, "Do I really use this?" If the answer was no, he put it away. Gone are the extras, the expired spices and pantry items, and the bread maker he bought years ago but only used once. When he was done, his kitchen felt like a whole new room. It was more useful, better organized, and, most importantly, simpler to use. The key is to get rid of kitchen items you don't use. This will make the space work for you instead of against you. It gets easier to cook, takes less time to clean, and you don't feel overwhelmed by a cluttered counter or a cabinet full of things. You don't need a kitchen full of stuff to make good food. You just need the basics. So look around your kitchen, open your cabinets and drawers, and ask yourself, when was the last time I used this? If it's been years, if it's just sitting there gathering dust, or if you're holding on to it just in case, it's time to get rid of it. A kitchen with only the things you use is not only easier to keep track of, it also makes everyday life easier and more enjoyable. 6th, things that are sentimental but don't serve you anymore. It's hard to get rid of sentimental items like old letters, gifts from family and friends, mementos from trips past, or boxes full of memories from decades ago. A lot of people find it hard to let go of these things because they make them feel bad. But here's something to think about. Before you turn 70, you should ask yourself if these sentimental items are making you happy or just taking up space. Many people feel bad about getting rid of sentimental items like a gift from a family member who has died, a stack of birthday cards from a long time ago, or mementos from your children or grandchildren's childhood. While these things can help us remember important events, they can also be too much to handle when they start to pile up. To be honest, memories don't live in things. They live in you. And holding on to too much sentimental stuff doesn't honor the past. It just makes the present harder to handle. Take Helen as an example. She kept holding on to boxes and boxes of old letters, mementos, and other items from different times in her life. She is 78 years old. She found that she had a whole storage unit full of things she hadn't looked at in years when she moved into a smaller house. At first, it seemed impossible to get rid of anything. What if she forgot the memories those things brought back? What if she felt like she had to erase a part of her life in order to let go? Then she changed. She started being picky and didn't hold on to everything. A few important things she kept were her wedding album, a few letters from family and friends, and a few souvenirs that made her smile. She let go of the rest. She gave away things that other people could still use and took pictures of things she wanted to remember but didn't need to keep. As she did these things, she felt something she hadn't expected: relief. A lot of people don't understand this. Getting rid of sentimental items doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means making room to enjoy the present fully. Keep the best things and get rid of the rest. Choose to surround yourself with things that make you happy instead of things that make you feel bad. If you've been holding on to sentimental items that are making you feel bad instead of good, stop and think about it. Do you need to keep every letter, memento, and other memento to remember the people and events that shaped you? Or can you keep the memories alive in your heart while making room in your home? Because at this point in your life, the things that bring you peace and joy every day are the ones that are truly valuable. As this video comes to a close, take a moment to think about the 6 household items we talked about. It's not just about making space when you get rid of things before you turn 70. It's also about making your home feel lighter, easier to manage, and more in line with the life you want to live. Giving up something isn't a loss. It's a step toward ease, clarity, and peace of mind. What did you notice most? Which of these things do you have at home? You may have already begun to get rid of furniture that doesn't serve your needs anymore. You may have realized how much easier life would be if you didn't have to deal with old papers, kitchen items that you don't use, or sentimental items that no longer make you happy. Or maybe this video changed the way you think about getting rid of clutter. It's about freedom, not just things. Please get in touch with us. Tell us what you learned today and how you're going to use it in your life in the comments below. We care about what you think, so don't be shy about telling us. We feel very motivated and encouraged when we read your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it and found it useful. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.